Hello, I'm back again today, and I know I wouldn't normally do a live stream. I didn't like my yesterday live stream. I thought I was a moody jerk, so I'm going to do one while it's nice and quiet and the shops are closed in the spooky, quiet Chermside, and yeah, hopefully it'll be. I was annoyed at myself. I was kind of just moody. I wasn't as nice about questions, so I will do a nice short one today, and I will be a good person today, nicer person. Hello, and hello TLJ, and howdy Angelo, good to see you guys. Yeah, just now doing a quiet one at a very quiet hour, but as you can see it's a bit quieter at Chermside, so I'll do a quick walk and do a quick chat with you guys if you felt like it. Yeah, I just didn't like yesterday's live stream, so today is my makeup live stream. But I can't say the word makeup without it sounding, much more superficial and like crappy and like channels I don't like. So we'll call it a do-over. A do-over. That's the best word. Yes, so we will do a do-over. What, no questions? Where's the chat? I can't see anyone in the chat. Oh, what? That's odd. It didn't show the chat. Howdy to you too. Quiet side of Johnson. Oh, it's Kathleen. Hello, Kathleen. And it's Dylan. What are your thoughts on the Bojack Horseman finale from Dylan? Gee, it was dark. It was really dark. The first half I really enjoyed. I love seeing Bojack become an acting teacher. That was so nice. I just really enjoyed it. Part of me really wanted to see Bojack get a happy ending, and I'm not saying it wasn't what would... Everything just kind of turned the tables so harshly on him at the end that it was painful to watch, and I was glad to see everyone else get a happier end, but Bojack did end up with a short end of the stick when he spent all of season 6 trying to be a better person, but we do kind of get why, and so it's a harsh ending. The second last episode is probably the darkest adult cartoon episode I've ever seen, like it's even eclipsing season 4's last episode, so yeah, it was a lot to take in, but I'm satisfied with how it ended. And howdy to you too, Alexandra. And GJ says, I thought you were gonna do a makeup tutorial. No, as you can probably see from my speckly face, I've had a zit outbreak lately, so I'm certainly not one to be doing a makeup tutorial. Hello, Strider, what are your thoughts on the new Pokemon games compared to the older ones? Well, Reflective Cat, I'm really disappointed because I can't get any of my old party. There's such a limited number of... and there's so much of a emphasis on story now, I can't just get into the game. I've got to watch their cheesy, corny cutscenes of some 9-year-old going with his partner who's overly friendly and nice, and how wonderful the world of going out when you're 9 years old into the city, into the wild, and battling, dogfighting with wild animals is, Not that I'm saying, oh, you can't battle with animals. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, oh, it's just so glossed over, cheesy. Nowadays, I want to focus on the RPG element, not just watching more and more story. I mean, who gives freaking free hotels to 9-year-olds? I don't know, it's a crazy story. Back at the mall again, eh? Yeah. Also, I'm also going to do a mail video in case anyone has submitted mail. I apologize for it taking me so long. I will get that mail video out in a day or so. And I am working, by the way. I've got another project coming up. Probably doing Illumination with the help of Toon Grinsu. Favorite Blue Sky movie? Actually, TLG, that's another project I'm working on, worst and best Blue Sky movies. I couldn't say for sure at the moment until I kind of put the list together a bit more strongly. Howdy to you too, Pray Juwu. It's good to see you again. Sorry, I just had to read your name. I do that when I'm reading. Have you seen Happy Feet? It's the Oscar winner. Really, Happy Feet won. Best animated feature, and is an Australian animated classic. I didn't know Happy Feet was Australian. That's really cool. Hey Strider, did you see the final episode of Bojack Horseman? Yes, I saw the one before it. Man, that was bleak. That was really, really bleak. I couldn't actually, I think I said this last time, I can't actually conceptually explain to you the second last episode without it probably getting a higher adult rating. It was a lot to take in. Hi Strider, I was just wondering if you checked out the Lego Ninjago series. I haven't seen it yet, sorry, Jurassic Show. If I do ever do best and worst Lego shows, I will actually look into it though. Hello, Yellow, says Daniel. Strider, have you seen Bluey? It's the most wholesome preschool show ever. No, but it's like being advertised a lot. It's in Brisbane at the moment, as apparently it's the biggest, most popular Australian kids show out right now. It's, let's see, Angela. That was good. My favorite is probably Rio. Yeah, I really like Rio too, as well. Oh, hey, good to see you, Medicine Monday. Got your mail today and did that filming, so thank you very much for sending those letters. I really appreciate it. Ah, hey, Lucy. Speaking of blue sky, would you say that the little bird's hate towards the honking bluebird were justified? I'm not going to get into the intricacies of Rio right now, but I am quite a fan of that movie. Strider, do you play Star Wars Battlefront 2? I never really got into the many of the Star Wars games in the past 9 years or so. Yes, Geek Tunes, I do live alone. I do like to. Occasionally, I'll invite my dad over. He thinks my shower's really good, like because it's got water saving and stuff. I don't know. My dad's weird, but because he hates wasting hot water, so I don't know. He's weird like that. Anyway, it's always my fun. Oh, thank you, Medicine Monday. What mall are you at? This is Chermside, Liam. What is your favorite Steven Universe character? Alexandra. Last time I watched Rio, read on Google Play that blue macaws are apparently extinct in the wild. Oh, isn't that sad? Do you like worm on a string? I don't think I've eaten that, Prage. Hey, what are your thoughts on the movie Joker, if you've seen it? It's just not my thing. I mean, I don't know, more white guys telling us they cracked the code on life because apparently they had a hard done by day and that apparently the world is nihilism and that everything's bad and we're all this. I don't know, I heard that in The Dark Knight Rises and it's just as sad and like you're not clever for saying that, and certainly hard done by white boys telling us that is not something new. We've had that since the 90s and it's just not clever to me. And I get it's artistic and it's well done. I can't. As I said, Geek Tunes, yes I do. But yeah, I don't know. To me, the Joker isn't something I needed in my life right now. It's just like, no, I had that in The Dark Knight, and they did it kind of clever from that angle. But you need a foil. You need a second side. You don't need this is the way. It's just so pretentious to me. But anyway, Medicine Monday. So I'm retiring the Gmod characters for now. I'm learning Source Filmmaker to make my video quality slightly better. Let me know how it goes. Hans Moleman needs more love. I know, Locke, he really does. I love Hans Moleman. He's just a great character. There's no scene, Hans Moleman, Jims was talking about this, Real Jims, there's no scene Hans Moleman isn't in where he doesn't dominate the scene with his presence. He's just so cool. And in every scene he dies, yet it's just so clever the way it happens. It's so over the top. I need the biggest seed bell you have. No, that's too big. What's the most overrated Simpsons character? The most underrated one is Hans Moleman. The best movie of the 2010s in your opinion? That's way too hard to decide in my opinion. I'm just trying to think what really affected me this year. There's been so many since then. Couldn't tell you off the top of my head. Why do you think Disney Infinity got cancelled, Still and Ryan? That's a good question. Particularly since Disney Infinity is on my mind right now, I just don't think it had the numbers they want. They were trying to get into the MMORPG scene, but they probably also discovered that a lot of MMORPGs are young adults and teenagers, and that the collectible scene just wasn't probably making enough money for them to keep it running the servers, because Extra Credits talked about this a while ago, the future of MMORPGs, in that MMORPGs are really goddamn expensive. When World of Warcraft was suddenly making $1 billion a year through that, what they didn't realize is they need a really popular player base. and it's really hard to break into the player base of MMORPGs because there's a crap load out there, making monies, and South Korean companies that know it far better. They know how to make profits. They know how to. It's just really hard to break into. Anyway, I got distracted on that, but I think that is part of why it just isn't an industry they can make a lot of money in. It's really hard to break into. I think Disney Infinity got canned because Toys to Life was beginning to die this time, speaking amiibo only, just because, I would say you're probably right on track with that, TLJ. I don't collect the amiibo myself. Thoughts on Baby Yoda? I don't know why he is really, really, really big. It's just, I don't know, you guys didn't no one liked Jar Jar. Why are we so fond of Baby Yoda? It's just a character. I don't know. I like Kreia in Star Wars. I don't really care about Baby Yoda. Hey Strider, since we got WWE Super Showdown is coming, I don't know, I'm not a really WWE fan, Tauntaun myself. Sorry about that. Hey Strider, what are your thoughts on Batman Mask of the Phantasm? I don't know, I don't keep up with it, Geek Tunes. Myself, maybe everything is apparently popular in America. Well, that's entirely possible. I mean, the Minions are still a thing, so, yeah, I'm not sure with that. But Baby Yoda's like a green gremlin. Oh, is he? Okay. Do you still talk to people you've collabed with before, for example? I still keep in contact with Robin, obviously. Popped into live streams, I even go visit her from time to time. I haven't lately because I don't know, January was a very bad month for me personally. It's very high anxiety. I have had a few anxiety attacks, a few bad things have happened. I've had a few phobias jump up, so I was going to go down there, but I had to sort of keep a bit of routine the last month. But getting better. Hi Live Strider and everyone else. Oh, thank you, Leela. What was that about Baby Yoda? I'd love to hear more about that, Lucy. Baby Yoda isn't a big deal. It's just a tiny version of Yoda. Well, that's it, yeah. And like current Yoda. Why isn't we don't get more of current Yoda just being Yoda? I only see him at meetings of the Jedi as they're falling apart, or giving Anakin bad advice. I don't see much of regular Yoda. I want more regular Yoda, and maybe Yoda talking to Kreia. Favorite Sith villain or in the Star Wars universe? Well, if Kreia counts, absolutely Kreia. Darth Treya, as she might be known. I mean, if I could have a Jedi boss, that's one of the few people I would actually follow into battle. But she isn't really spoken upon much. She trained Revan as well, I think. She was the first master of Revan. Anyway, you guys don't care about that. Hello, Strider. I'm looking forward to 101 Dalmatian Street finale. Is there a finale for that coming out, Julio? I didn't know about that. Which decade of animation do you think was the worst? That's a better question for Pie Guy Rules and Alpha J, or even Geek Tunes. I think Geek Tunes will probably know that better than me. Hey Strider, thoughts on Generator Rex? I haven't watched an episode since I watched the Darkest Generator Rex episode, and it was fine. It was I was a bit old for it at the time, so I wasn't really into it. It reminded me a lot of Ben 10, if I was to simplify it. Glad to hear things and he has been improved. There's not a better feeling than overcoming it. Well, yeah, and just understanding it. It's all about, I think, acceptance, commitment, and just allowing those feelings to come and go, and to just work through them. That seems to be the best approach I've found over the years. I would recommend watching 101 Dalmatian Street. What is it, Julio? Let me know what it is. Thoughts on Palpatine's return in Rise of Skywalker? I actually really liked it. But I really liked the link. That was from Angelo. I really like the link between Palpatine and Rey. I actually think that's really cool because it gives us a connection, because I think a lot of people are severing their ties somewhat with what some of their grandparents or parents did in the past, and as often politically they can be very different people, and even just in their lives. My grandparents are very, very different people to me. So I actually felt a real personal connection with that part of the story. I like the fact that Rey, I would have been fine with her being at the end, no, I'm a Palpatine, and making a new name for her, but I actually changed my name from my own grandparents, so I feel a personal connection with it. I hope I'm not revealing too much by saying that, but no, I have a different name now, and I'm glad for that. So yeah, I get it. I think it's a really good part of the story. Hey Josh, this is from Mac and Blue. Hey Josh, I'm Jeff. As I told you the other day, I'm sorry about your anxiety. Well, thank you, Jeff. Well, I'm doing okay. You know, there's people in much, much worse situations than me, so thank you for your worry, though. I appreciate that. Fox King says, what about a girl Yoda? My friend wants to see that happened, Strider. A girl Yoda? Yeah, why not? I don't know, he's not like the only one of his species, is he? I heard a funny story about that once. Do you remember Ratifact Fletcher, and have you heard nightmares about him before? You know, George Tantan talked about, oh, I missed a bunch of messages there, sorry. Ratifact Fletcher actually was, I think originally meant to, in the 80s, combat Russian, encourage Russian democracy, encourage Russian free speech. So, in fact, it turns out it was a really interesting character. We just saw the kind of messed up version of him later on because someone kind of got the puppet and, yeah, messed around with it a bit and made it terrifying. Gender fluid Yoda. What is your opinion on the Iron Giant? Absolutely love it. You'll find it's one of the best films and best book-based animated movies, in my opinion. On a video I did. Ice Poseidon's more sober, better, sorry. Any interest in the horror genre, Strider? Weirdly enough, I was researching Song of Seiya, apparently getting a film adaptation last night. But no, I just don't do disempowerment, which is what a good horror is. I don't mind the zombie stuff, zombie horror. American horror is good because it's kind of about the us discovering we can overcome horrors. So yeah, that kind of horror I like, but the disempowered Japanese horror doesn't really interest me that much, though it is certainly very potent. Any collaboration in music, or worst collaboration in music? Couldn't tell you, sorry, John. I'm not very good with music. Good morning, Steph. Have you seen Walking with the Dinosaurs, the movie? You know, I remember Walking with the Dinosaurs years ago, and yeah, I was fine with it back when I was interested in dinosaurs when I was younger. Dinosaurs were a big thing in the 90s. I couldn't tell you why. Which fandom would you say has more people? MCU or the Wizarding World? That is a tough one, because I'm thinking the Harry Potter movement was massive. I'm a big part of it, was a big part of the Harry Potter movement. I watched all the Harry Potter movies, so I loved it. I mean, I was talking to a friend about this the other day. It's like, just as some young women dived into the Twilight fantasy, and older women, we all dived into the Harry Potter world as well. Just the idea of being a loner and being special. No, it's interesting. It got me thinking the other day. Welcome to Coolsville. Population us. Yeah, there's 28 of us. Or at least the insomniac population. What animated character would you say you relate to the most? Weirdly enough, probably Abe from Abe's Odyssey. I always think of him. I don't know why. But he was so important. Like, he was really important to me growing up. Any Sonic characters that you dislike? I really don't like what they did to Knuckles in Sonic Boom. Knuckles was originally one of my favorite characters, but he's the only character in Sonic Boom I really don't like, because he's just so stupefied. Amy is fantastic. Tails is fantastic. Sonic's really likable. Eggman's so likable in Sonic Boom, but I just can't stand Knuckles, so that would be a character I don't like. I think the Lion King remake is pointless, but the CGI is phenomenal. That's a fair point, Angela. I certainly think it's pointless. Just catching a glimpse of it the other day at JB Hi-Fi. And anyway, do you find it annoying that sometimes you get messages from the same one guy when you stream? Says Dylan. No, I find it annoying that I tend to naturally hone in on people I've seen before, which means I don't give as much of an opportunity to people who haven't messaged before. Have you seen Mary and Max, says Belinda. Yeah, I did a review of it in best claymation movies, actually. Big fan of it. I think it's one of the best Australian movies that I've seen that we've released, certainly in animation. Very impressive. And it gives a much, much more realistic depiction of Aspergus than, say, Atypical or The Big Bang Theory, in my opinion. I know some people love Atypical. I just can't stand that guy. It's like his whole family falls apart just because he has freaking Asperger's. And I know some people have a stronger diagnosis than me. I see it and I just think, oh, it's such a poor me story. Anyway, hey Strider, do you like The Simpsons Hit and Run? Teddy, I'm so sorry I missed your message last time and you'd been asking that for a while. Yeah, I actually played through The Simpsons Hit and Run a while back. I had a sort of a binge run of it. And yeah, it's fine to me. The only problem was it kept glitching out. I have not ever found a copy of that game that I can actually get that doesn't give massive glitches, but no, it's fast-paced. It's one of those ones I want to do a Let's Play of. And hi to you too, No Man Says No. Adam Sandler's a great actor, but he's given terrible scripts. TLJ, I would agree, and he's a really nice guy too, from what I hear. He even tends to rehire people he's worked with before, and I suspect this... I don't know, I do that too. People I like, I tend to try and give work to if I can. Not that I get tons of work, but, you know, I love to do that when I can. Good buddy. Ever seen A Thief and the Cobbler? I never watched through much of it, sorry, Geek Tunes. I certainly heard the stories of it, though, and how much time it spent in production, how many hands changed during production. Hi, Strider says, Explode Force. Hello to you too, Explode Force. Have you heard of the Starlight Express? Its music was... Sorry, New South Wales Steam fan. I'm not too familiar with Andrew Lloyd Webber. I have heard of him, though. When are you coming to England? I'll let you know as soon as I'm over there. My mom really wants to go to England, and at some point, I don't know, in the next few years, I want to do a trip with her. So if I ever have an excuse to come over, I will let you know, I promise. We'll go out for sushi. At least Michael Bay can take criticism. Yeah, Michael Bay kind of, New South Wales Steam fan said that. He kind of accepts who he is and what he makes, and I can respect that. Even if I can't stand his work, I can respect that he acknowledges who he is and what he makes, and he doesn't try to pretend he's making something bigger. So, you know. I also like the fact that he hasn't produced anything in a while, because I haven't had to watch it. Not that I have to watch it, but, you know, if I want to do a review and talk about it. What do you think of the Philippines? It's a country. I'm glad to see much like China and much like India at the moment, I'm glad to see development happening, and I'm glad to see a cheaper way to get some medicines, particularly if your country doesn't have as good healthcare. So, yeah, I like Philippines, that's fine. Have you ever thought of the web series? I probably pay them out too much. I've probably made too many jokes at the Philippines' expense, which is, oh me, and I apologize for that. I've nothing against the Philippines. How are you doing today, Strider? Always enjoy watching your videos. Oh, thank you, Far Cry 223. Do you have a favorite family holiday? Says Cadpig. Yeah, I like Easter, just purely because I like looking at the coloured eggs in the shops. I think that's really nice. I actually don't eat much chocolate, but I love looking at the eggs. So colourful. Do you do best worst Filipino cartoons, says Explode Force. I just haven't done cartoons around the world in so long. But looking back the other day, someone was re-uploading my England one, because I made a lot of mistakes in that one. I didn't research it well enough, and oh god, my acting was bad back then. I don't miss my acting being that abysmal. It was so bad. But I'm not going to stop someone if they re-upload it, and you know, a few hundred people are enjoying it. If they want to see me horrendously act and make tons of bad mistakes and say Tugs was bad, God, it's hard to do it to say any English cartoons are bad. It really is. I just want to remind you about the Angry Dome. It's my newest Futurama quote. The Angry Dome. That's from Locke. I'll be in the Angry Dome. My sister watches Norman the North 24/7. Please send help. You couldn't get her onto Disney, could you? No, it's like that sometimes, isn't it, TJ? I had things I would binge watch over and over when I was a kid as well. And fortunately, my brother's friends, kids mostly, watch Moana and Frozen, so they're lucky. I might be talking too much about Star Wars, but ever since my friend introduced me to Battlefront games and can't shut up about. Oh, that's fine, man. You know, it's a good series. Particularly after looking over Disney Infinity Star Wars, reminded me how much I appreciate the world and the series. Star-Lord. These live streams are the most calming videos to watch at night. I love them. Thank you, Star-Lord. It's my absolute pleasure. I get to walk anyway. I'm going to take a walk at night anyway. I'm just like, I might as well have you guys join me if you want to, So it's my absolute pleasure. Well, thank you, Explode Force. What do you use for your thumbnails? I use Photoshop generally. If you mean for these thumbnails, I just walk in front of some bushes and smile. Fun fact, Michael Bay's Transformers, this is from Mac and Bro, Michael Bay's Transformers film influenced Hasbro to reboot its franchises, which is how we got My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. I didn't know that. So Michael Bay did some good with his movies. Can you do a list of the top 10 best Disney Renaissance films? That's a very specific one. And I think of Disney Renaissance, maybe if they come back, and I would have to make it best and worst, I think, for the algorithm nowadays. But I would be interested in seeing that. Which would you list? Top 6 Welsh cartoons, Steph. That'd be an interesting one. Here's a hypothetical question. If I ever made a film for Universal Studios that was written by me and chose you to be the main character, would you accept my offer? Of course, Madison, absolutely. I want to look over a bit of the script and the concept and that sort of thing first, but I'd be on it. Strider, yo, I'm in your IMDb anyway. Hey Ash, how you doing? What's up to you too? Mr. Nintendo says, where are you at the moment? I am at Chermside, just taking a walk around, doing my usual thing. Top 5 best Australian cartoons. Yeah, I can't find a lot of Australian cartoons I really enjoy, so, I never really got into them much. Very good at making fun of them, though. Whoa, giant thumb attacks. Yeah, sorry about that, Jamie. That's just me moving across the screen. Would you ever join in the Pizza Potty podcast if you get the chance? Well, they mostly make fun of me in that. RC18s. I think Rebel Taxi doesn't mind me anymore because I notice he follows me, so I guess he doesn't mind me, and we've chatted a bit more politely in recent years, so that's good. I've no guff at him. People seem to really like his content. I haven't watched much of his content, but I've seen his editing's really good, and his presentation from when I kind of get shoved into one of his videos by the algorithm, really good. So, yeah. I have to go. I'm not done watching your Best Worst Disney games. Oh, thank you, GJ. Appreciate it. You have a good night then. Fun fact, Michael Bay's Transformers films influenced... Oh, yeah, you mentioned that, Mac and Bro. It's good. View on pony life. I don't know, TJ. I've been looking more because of Lily into My Little Pony as a franchise, and my friend Mercedes, you might know as Crystal. Right now there is still sun. Yeah, the nice thing about artificial light in the shopping centre is that there's always sun here. The only good thing about Tugs is that the crane... Oh, look, I'm not saying anything about Tugs, Lucy. I didn't watch enough of it to make a good opinion, and I apologise for that. Locke says, pick 2 numbers between 1 and 29 so I can make a Simpsons episode to watch. 1 and 29. Season 7, episode 5. Season 7, episode 5. Season 12, episode 8. Season 16, episode 4. I don't recommend those ones. I would be curious what those are. Strong Arms of the Ma I was looking at the other day. That one was the one where Marge becomes super strong. Kind of one of those meh episodes from the late season. Would you ever make a themed marathon of videos for a month like Nostal? Marathon of videos? Yeah, I just don't produce enough to make kind of a themed month of videos. I try to do just I try to jump onto new themes every new video to keep something interesting coming in, to keep it fresh for you guys. And from Lyric. Oh, there's a new person, Lyric Marshall. Have you heard of Ready Player One, movie based on the book, and how was your birthday? Did you watch the Super Bowl? If you didn't, Kansas City Chiefs won. Yeah, I saw I didn't see it, but I heard all about Ready Player One, and it was a Spielberg production, and a lot of it was kind of Spielberg's older perspective at, millennial culture, that sort of thing, and a little bit of the younger culture narcissism and that sort of thing, and just a bit of a game of fantasy from what I've heard of, just, I don't know, I never got into that. It's a bit like how I made fun of that anime where if you die in the game, you die in real life. I don't know, I never wanted to be the master of the simulation world. I wanted to get better in the real world, but whatever people enjoy. So I like most Spielberg productions, so I had no problems with it. And yeah, the birthday was lovely. Honestly, I didn't do much. I went out with Ming and went out with a bunch of friends, actually, and spent some time with the family. It was just nice. Let's see. Jamie B says, I can high-key agree on these streams are calming. Oh, I've been able to fall asleep a few times playing these in the background. Oh, thank you, Jamie. It's my pleasure. I should probably put a playlist together in case you probably could get a solid 8 hours out of these. The only thing is, it's a lot of background noise, so I don't know if it'd be good for calming. Whatever works for you. Hey, from TLJ, what do you think about Ryan Reynolds? He's probably my favorite American actor. Favorite is maybe Johnny Depp. I don't know. I haven't seen Johnny Depp in a production I like in quite a few years, actually. So, I don't know what if you like him, though. Ready Player One was another Spielberg triumph. A lot of what Spielberg does is very solid, honestly. Like, he's a very experienced, safe producer, because he's had decades of experience at this point, Random question, best pizza topping. I really like pineapple. I actually just had, I like oven pizza, just frozen pizza. I find they go down better with my gut. Weirdly enough, oven pizzas, frozen pizzas are much, much healthier than what you get from the actual pizza places. So I made one this morning of ham and pineapple. In Australia, ham and pineapple is the most popular pizza, Hawaiian, but it's seen as like a sin against nature in America, pineapple. I suspect because our country's so freaking hot and humid that we just appreciate that kind of watery extra on our pizzas. Anyway, so yeah, I'd say ham and pineapple is my favorite. Tips on overcoming video game rage. Well, I don't know. It depends. It's good to see people getting invested in something they love. It shows you're alive, and whether that be video games or whatever it is. But I don't know. I mostly play video games for the joy of it. And when I used to get angry at losing a Smash Brothers match, I don't know. You just let it go. It's just you're there to have fun. You be happy for the person who won, particularly if it's. But there are times I get really angry if I lose a match or I'm playing a roguelike game. So I think it's just a matter of stepping back, saying it's just a game, and taking a deep breath and walking away for a little bit and having perspective. Click tongue. Hey! That's from Medicine Monday. Number 1, Blinky Bill. God, that movie was terrible. I was looking back at the movie. Like, the two Australian cartoons that come to mind is Dot and the Kangaroo and Blinky Bill, both of which Dot and Kangaroo was bad. Dot in general I just thought was pretty lousy, but Blinky Bill was alright. Sonic Boom can be funny, but it's very generic, like some of the characters in Shadow can be flat. Yeah, but the thing about that Mac and Mumbo is Shadow was meant to be flat. In fact, you've got Eggman there constantly going, oh my god, it's Shadow. They're being very meta about it in a very clever way. The Sonic producers are so good social media-wise and that sort of thing. I mean, they can't put... I really like the Sonic community in terms of the people who are kind of leading it, and they're very, very self-aware. Dude, you deserve more subs. Honestly, Explode Force, on Live Strider, I really don't. I do a walk around the mall with you guys, and I lose a few hundred subs every time as people realize I'm not doing many top lists on here anymore, which is perfectly fair enough. They signed up for top lists, and I haven't been delivering those for several months, so I understand. Could you do a top 5 Aussie games? What sort of games do you? Because our gaming market isn't as bad. I mean, if you get down to Sydney and Melbourne, we actually produce some good stuff. I'd love to hear some of the games you'd recommend, Mike. Who's worse, Michael Bay or Zack Snyder? I'm gonna go Zack Snyder just because. No, that's a tough one. So I was thinking about Batman v Superman and how up its own rear it was. I could not decide. Both are quite bad. That was from New South Wales Steampan. It's from John. It's crazy how the Kansas City Chiefs have finally won the Super Bowl in 50 years. I don't follow them for the life of me, John, so I couldn't tell you. Yeah, I think actually TLJ Diamond Collab has actually commented on a couple of my videos. I think he does he do, oh no, that's Diamond Minecraft. I'm thinking of someone else. I haven't, oh yeah, I do, I used to like Paramore, John. I used to love their song, Bury the Castle one, where it's basically about a woman in a fantasy. Now, I've liked a couple of her songs. They're very much about reality versus fantasy and how much we kind of delve into that. And as a guy who, reviews cartoons for a living, that kind of connects with me. Let's see. Which is better, Tim Burton's Batman films or Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy? Oh, that's too tough because both Nolan and Tim Burton have some really good qualities to their films. Like, they're a different kettle of fish entirely. And they're also based on the times. I'd say Tim Burton, I do like the Tim Burton films. Some of them, not all of them. But, I mean, I would say the Dark Knight trilogy is more consistently good, and Batman Begins is one of my favorite movies of all time. So I would probably personally say Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, but I certainly could be told I'm wrong on that. Can you make, let's see, if anybody is able to, please make Pop Vinyl Figure Strider. I'd pre-order it instantly. Well, thank you, TLJ. Well, it's been fun, but I've got work in the morning. Take care, Strosh. Please keep civil live chat. Kindness costs nothing. Well, thank you, Medicine. You have a good night, too. Take care. And Cameron says, howdy, Strider. Well, howdy to you, too. Sadly, for I think the whole world's schooling is returned. What? Fun fact. Without the marvelous misadventures of Flapjack, we wouldn't have the Adventure Time Bravest Warriors regular show at Gravity Falls. Absolutely. No matter, a lot of the insignificant cartoons we had that just sort of faded out of memory very much encouraged creators of the next generation for cartoons we did remember. So I'm going to go over this side because it's give you guys a bit of background that's different. The choices were Lisa the Veg. Oh my god, I hate that episode. Look, I'm sorry I made you choose that. Even the narration, the commentary is up its own rear. Oh my god, and it's so biased too. Like the whole episode, they're making it out like people eating meat is being brainwashed in them. It's just so one-sided. I hate that episode. Skinner's Sense of Snow and She Used to Be a Girl. I don't know what those other two are though. But my apologies for my recommendations, Locke. Those were terrible the first one was anyway. Do you have thoughts on the Spyro Reignited trilogy, John? John, it just appeared in my Steam on discount, and I've been very, very tempted to get it because I've been wanting to try it. Okay, and from Mac and Bo, he says, I know you haven't watched Sonic X entirely, but do you have any thoughts based on the episodes you have seen? Well, the first 5 episodes I actually quite enjoyed at the time. It's been around so long, and I mostly watched them as a teenager. I felt the Sonic Adventure remake was really, really poor. Like, that was so forgettable. I found it so inoffensive. I remember when I was doing worst Sonic episodes, I wanted to include some Sonic X episodes, but it was so inoffensively bland at times, I just couldn't include anything. It's not nearly as bad as Sonic Underground, though, and it has some legitimately good episodes, and there's a good sense of action as well. When the action does get going, I really did enjoy it. No, I don't think I would collect Transformers figures, Mike. I'm very much a minimalist, very anti-hoarding, so I don't ever actually collect much. I have a plush of a monkey. That's about all the kind of collectibles I have. Sup Strider, says Emerald Wolf. And sup to you too, Emerald. Quick question, do you have children? No, Explode Force, I don't have children myself. Lucy says, I don't even mind that I'm not asleep. At least I'm keeping myself occupied. Well, Lucy, sometimes, well, I do encourage you to try and sleep if you can. If you can't, it's best not to stress, because sometimes it's good just to have our body resting. Focus on your breathing a bit. Try and do some deeper stomach breathing, and that itself, is resting as well. If you're constantly moving, then you should be resting a bit. But at night, if all you can do is rest, that's pretty good too. What do you think about the whole Cooper situation? I haven't heard of that, Fox King. Do you mind expanding upon that in the chat, and I'll learn about it? I will learn. I said Johnny Depp is my least favorite. Oh, okay, sorry about that, TLJ. I misread you. Yeah, he's not my favorite either. Thoughts on Skylanders Academy ending as a cliffhanger? I didn't actually watch it myself. I watched the first episode and realized it just wasn't my cup of tea. It reminded me a lot, actually, weirdly enough, of Minecraft Story Mode, the two main characters. It was very much a similar sort of young teen characters, kind of cocky or arrogant, but I'm sure he's a very good character. Cat in the Hat is my ultimate guilty pleasure. Well, that's a rough one. Hey Josh, I hope that birthday wish I tagged you on my Facebook page was good, and I hope Storm... Yeah, thanks very much for that, Mac. I haven't read through all of them because there was quite a few, but I really do appreciate the birthday wishes. Most appreciated. I'm going to jump to the front because I've probably missed a bunch of messages. Do you have to do shopping in this mall, or are you just walking around? I mostly walk around, but I'll probably do a little bit of shopping down at Coles later on. I'm going to pick up spinach, because I like to add spinach to my chow mein. So I will do that. Is it bad that I have school in the morning and I'm watching this? You go get some rest, Fox King. School is very important, and make sure have a little bit of something for breakfast too. I wouldn't want to keep you up from school. That's much more important than this. Have you ever seen the web series Bravest Warriors? Sorry, Joe, I haven't seen that one. Howdy, it's actually 4 p.m. in my place. Still good morning to you. Oh, that's cool, Amadeus. Where you at? Have you ever felt like this? Oh, you can hear the song. Good ears, Kathleen. Yum, spinach. Yeah, I know. It goes good with when you soak it in like hot water with chicken stock and that sort of thing. Do enjoy it. Oh, it was your birthday recently, says Jamie. Happy birthday. Thanks, Jamie. Greetings, Strider, says the Jen. Oh, greetings to you too. Have you watched the IT Crowd? Yeah, I have, TLJ. I watched it all the way through. Probably the best scene, I think, was... now, those are characters I like. I also still watch a bit of Puff and Rock, which has one of the main guys as the narrator, which is really good. So, yeah, definitely a fan of IT Crowd. The best scene was the fire, where he's sending an email about the fire that's going on. One of the best scenes I've seen. We light up the world. Oh, you can hear the song too, Rich. Trains kind of sucks in my opinion. I haven't heard of that, Lucy. Happy birthday, Strider. Happy birthday, Strider. Sorry, I couldn't make it to the stream. That's okay, New South Wales stream fan. This is just me doing one that's replace it, because I thought I was kind of tetchy, short in my last live stream, and I felt bad about... I wasn't too nice to Canyon. I was a bit short at Canyon, and I felt really bad about that, so wanted to redo it. And I got rid of the old one. Are you going to do a list of worst and best preschool shows? Just with Copper, to be honest, Larry. There's certain things I have shied away from because of Copper. And honestly, none of my videos have been hits, and I probably would be safe to do it. But just to be on the safe side, I'm probably going to shy away from all sort of preschool shows and that sort of stuff. And, that's not really my interest. I don't think it's the interest of a lot of you guys either. Let's see, I have a music recommendation, Chill Hop. It's very relaxing, calming. My favorite is Faces by Nomic. Yeah, I would like something like Chill Hop, because I like a bit of hip hop with chill or ambient music. Let's see. Ever thought of doing a top 10 cartoon TV movie list? Do you watch Cinema Sins or Honest Trailers? Not much, sorry, TLJ. Oh, Round the Twist theme song. Have you ever had a thought like this? Yeah, I remember that one. That was very Aussie of you, Kathleen. How is it living in Australia, says Cad Pig. Visited Australia a few years back, and my anxiety did not like flying over so much ocean. Yeah, we're kind of out in the middle of nowhere, aren't we? Which is good sometimes if you want to not die and if you want to see your family not die and not get involved in conflicts, unless our own country starts to burn. Then we are in trouble. Anyway, no, it's fine. It's very hot and humid, and fortunately I'm in a place which has better ventilation than before. So no, I like living in Australia, but and I would probably rather it be, boiling hot than freezing cold. But at times I do wonder if I'd work better in Canada. Favorite Stan Lee cameo. I quite like the one where he's like, "Don't make me come up the down there, you punk," in Spider-Man. I never saw Deadpool. Pineapple bad. Also, I miss chatting with you, buddy. Skype buddy XXXX. Yeah, no worries. Steph. Yeah, good to see you, Steph. We'll chat soon. Hey Josh, did you know that a lot of voice actors from MLP were in the Death Note English dub? The Death Note English dub was really good, and that's no surprise there to me. I really did like that dub, even if I don't like Light as a character. Probably best to avoid, yeah, and honestly, it's, as I said, I mean, I could perfectly well say I told you so to a lot of people who did make a big fuss about copper, but they got their money for the ads of, getting everyone terrified, so I guess they got what they want. I mean, everyone still clicked on the videos back then when they were terrified it was going to destroy YouTube, and it didn't, and I guess it doesn't matter. Anyway, howdy Strider, says Hannah Martin. What do you think of the new Disney show, The Owl House? It's been getting a lot of social media attention. I don't know too much about it yet. Can you mention something about it in the comments if you want to share, Hannah Martin? I'd be curious, mate. It's just also very, very Australian, Kathleen. Is it night or day where you're at? It's just coming into night, KAP fan, Kaju anime plush fan. Oh, good, we have laughter, not screaming. I like that. Who has seen San Juan trains? Just popped by to say hi, says Triple C Productions. Oh, howdy to you too, Triple C. Do you like The Simpsons 138th episode spectacular? That's too vague. I wouldn't know which episode that is. Hey, Strider, love the channel, says Gaming Fanatic 911. Well, thank you, Gaming Fanatic. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'll have a few videos out hopefully soon on the main channel, and I'll do a little letter video on here. And yeah, what's weird is that almost all of my videos on my main channel have been affected by copper, except my Thomas and Friends fanfictions. Lucy, honestly, do actually try to mention that they're not, because I really doubt that you can say specifically they're not made for kids, and it's very unlikely you'll find that if you are speaking as an adult to people, actually speaking to people, and you're not making videos, about dancing Thomas the Tank Engine characters or finger fun puppets, then you're probably okay. What do you think is worse, Light Yagami or Archer? Oh, I really don't like either of them. That's a tough one. At least Light has the excuse of being an arrogant little twerp who's like 17 years old, who's just unfortunately given all the credit in the world. But Archer is also an arrogant little twerp, except he's like twice the age of Light. So I don't know which is sadder. Oh, Teddy, what's your favorite Bojack Horseman song? Mine'd be probably the main theme. I loved the reproduction of the main theme and how visually it changed in the sixth season, Teddy. But I would say that Horse with No Name was a really good intro. I look back at that one, it's one of the most powerful intros I've seen. Just watching him kind of go across the desert and think and enter his old house and see that picture there, really powerful. I'd say that's one of my favorite songs in the show. Who's more annoying in the Temple of Doom, Willie Scott or Short Round? I'd probably say Willie. I actually didn't mind the little Chinese fella. What's your favorite cartoon crossover? Asked KAP fan. Cartoon crossover. Whenever I think cartoon crossover, the first thing that always comes to mind is what I saw as a kid, which was Simpsons meet the Flintstones. Oh, that's a tough one. I couldn't think of one off the top. I can tell you the worst from, my list. One of the worst I thought was Simpsons and Family Guy, because it's basically Family Guy twisting the Simpsons into their creepy world. But anyway, would you ever do a worst best non-Disney movies? Well, that's very vague, Joe DeSana. Good question, but I don't know, that would cover a lot. I mean, do you mean like movies that are like Disney but not quite Disney? What if a Zubat popped up out of nowhere? Well, I guess I'd run from it or throw a Pokeball at it. That was from Mike the Ice Warrior. Gabe the Gem. Funny how the Hal House is brought up because it's my recommendations as I'm watching. I should tune in for it, but I've got to get Disney Plus on my smart TV, so still got to do that. I'd say of those bounty hunters, TLJ, Jango Fett, Boba Fett, or Mando. I haven't seen Mando in action, but of the ones I know, Boba Fett's pretty cool. Do you watch Disney Plus? I've really got to, Logan. See, as I mentioned, I've got to get my smart TV to actually tune into it. Do you know The Good Place? Yeah, Explode Force. I used to watch a lot of The Good Place. It's got a lot of insight, and it does actually point out some of the hypocrisies of trying to establish punishing people for all eternity for their morality, and does take into predeterminism into mind, and it also takes into mind all these other questions. And another thing is it points out how difficult it is to technically be good in this world where if you're in a if you're actually in a developed country, you can be doing harm to people just by living. So it certainly points out some of the nuance of it all. I got really tired of it teasing us every season, like, oh, we're going to go to The Good Place. No, we're not. Now we're going to do everything again. Oh, we're going to go to The Good Place. No, now we're not. Now we're going to go off to God knows where and test everything again to see if we can maybe get into the good place next season. Is the Mystery Manor not coming back to the Hello Scream ever? I don't know, John. Geez, I'm terrible at answering your questions today, John. Sorry about that. Gaming Fanatic 911 says, you're welcome, buddy. I was supposed to be in bed already, but while doing homework. Good. You finish off your homework. Here of the cartoon show Mao Mao. Heroes of Pure Heart. All I've been watching lately. Is that an anime, Jamie? I haven't heard of it myself. Oh, it's TJ. Honestly, I have a feeling that here's the next couple of years, the human race will finally see what the greed has done to this planet. Pollution, deforestation, bushfires are right in front of us. Yeah, the problem, TJ, is the bushfires are literally burning my entire country down. And the conservatives are blaming the Greens, are blaming the lefties, saying they started it. Some people, not all people, but some people will see what they want to see. And that's part of what does, I think, split the left and right. If it's more convenient, based on your income and based on the exportations of your country, to see the idea that global warming is fake or all this other bull crap, then that's what some people will do. Personally, I'm very much a realist, and if I'm screwing over everything, and if I'm in trouble or something like that, I can't run away from it. It's a very complicated subject. What do you think of Star vs. Series finale? Cadpeg 101. I heard that was actually apparently really grim and dark. I heard a lot of people were disappointed as well. It's one of those things, when they got to Muni, I started to phase out of the series. But I did like some of the final episodes. I didn't mind Star and Marco being an icon, but I don't think they should have teased it. I actually thought Lily had a really good point there. Lily mentioned they should have been an icon from the start, and I was like, yeah, that'd be fine. Why do we never see established relationships in cartoons? I would love to see that. Where Star and Marco are just romancing from the start. That'd be cool. Sonic the Hedgehog, Snow Pingers. I remember actually the actor for Eggman redid that one time. Anyway, Good Place just ended. I just finished it at Explode Force. I guess I can catch up with it now because they're not just going to be teasing us. But I wonder if they ever got to The Good Place. Probably not. I got an idea for you. List of best, this is from Kathleen. List of best, worst round the twist episodes. Oh, Kathleen, you know I couldn't do that. There's only 25 million people in Australia, and not many of them are actually interested in my channel. So, and the thing is that only people in Australia would really be interested. So, I don't know, 10,000 people might find that interesting. which on YouTube, you know, just isn't enough for the algorithm. Oh no, dude, haha, it's an American cartoon. It's on the Cartoon Network. It does take some inspiration from anime. I think it's real good fun. Oh, okay. I hope Jim Carrey says snooping as usual, I see. Ah, yes. That's, for those who don't know, that's a quote from Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Hey Josh, take your time to reading that birthday wish. I overdid it because I originally posted about Storm XF3, but I wanted to include you in it because I reminded me about you. Well, thank you, Mackin, but I appreciate you putting that time and effort into the birthday wish. No, much appreciate. I've got to go through a bunch of them, so please don't take offense if I haven't liked it or made a comment on it yet. I think I've watched an episode of Bo. Was it good? Oh, I'm sorry again, John. I've heard all about that one, but hadn't actually seen it. Oh, okay, catch you later, New South Wales Steam fan. Well, goodbye, Strider. Okay, catch you later, Explode Force. Hope a complete series of Star vs. comes to DVD or Blu-ray soon. Yeah, no, I would like to see a completed series of that. I don't collect much on DVD myself nowadays. I'd probably just buy them on YouTube, but no, that'd be nice. I'm going to review for my test. Oh yeah, good idea, Explode Force. Good on you. I used to do a lot of reviewing in university, and it really helped me stick in the distinction, high distinction. We have like high distinctions, credits, and that over here. But no, that really helped me sort of just memorizing and going over and testing myself. Favorite Zelda games as TLJ. I'm going to say Majora's Mask because I like the dark story so much. I thought it was so intense at times. I like the fact that you're constantly kind of losing, and everything, even just putting on a mask, looks like it's a massive pain for Link. It was a very, very atmospheric game, and I know I say that word a lot, but in this case it really was. Ever come across a koala? I've come across koalas while running Cad Pig. I've come across snakes while running, actually. No, I've come across a few. There haven't been as many right now, and for reasons you could probably guess. No, I just haven't been to the forest as much lately, so I haven't seen them as much. Hi, says Punk Kitty. Oh, hi to you too, Punk Kitty. Are you ever going to do a top 10 list of the best and worst My Little Pony episodes? Kristen, honestly, I was thinking about it lately, and I was thinking someone like Lily actually might be able to give a good opinion of those. It's another of those cases, a bit like Real Gyms, where I think another person could do much better giving their opinion on it and give a much more insightful opinion. And I could insert my 2 cents in, but if I do, I'll probably get Lily to help with it, if she would be interested. I'm not sure. I think the Pingus thing isn't that funny, no offense to anyone who likes it. No, but it's fun just that everyone kind of got on board with it. Damn though, I thought when I go to university in Australia I'll be able to meet you, but I live like 1.8 kilometers away from where I'm going to, into university. Oh, that's okay, man. Just drop by Chermside sometimes and say hi if you want. Let's see. Joe DeSana says, would you like to do a best Disney characters like the worst list you did a while back? Yeah, I feel like most people know the best Disney characters though, or it's a very, very subjective thing. You can pretty much say that, you know, some of the characters from Chicken Little were terrible, but it's really hard to say Ariel's the best character, or no, Aladdin's not the best character. But, you know, some people think Ariel's terrible, some people think Ariel's fantastic. It's a very subjective thing. Oh, frick, I am late, says Zachary. Sorry, Josh. Also, I'd like a top 6 worst and best Mario games, since you did dive into Mario games before. I did worst Mario games, and I've thought about it, but again, it's a very subjective one. I could certainly do worst and best Sonic games, particularly as I was looking over the Game Apologist. I was thinking that might be fun. Oh, you're welcome, Kristen. I'm reviewing for my Catholic test. Oh, good on you, man. You know, weirdly, back when I was going to a Catholic school for years. I'm a secular humanist myself, not religious, but I had such nice teachers there, and it was one of the few I was actually quite... No, I don't think I was good at it. I think my teacher was just really nice. It didn't matter if you get bad grades in that one. I learned how they make a saint. That's about all I remember, the qualifications you've got through. Hi, Strider. I was wondering if you've ever heard of Making Friends on Nickelodeon. No, Ali, I haven't. Sorry, Ali Spooch. Is that like a sitcom? Let me know. My siblings planning on watching Full and Fuller House 8 times each. Insanity has been fully reached. Oh, that's a lot of sitcoms, TLJ. Full and Fuller House. You can kind of guess. I remember a movie Bob was saying about Fuller House. You can tell they were kind of on the upswing because they actually have managed to stay in, I think it's California or San Francisco over the last several decades. It's just sad for Roseanne on that show. Could you read my comments? Sorry, Mike the Ice Warrior. I might have missed your comments. I apologize for that. Have you ever heard of Play the Nicktoon crossover video games? I think there was a Nicktoon crossover video game for SpongeBob, actually, that I missed. I decided the list was getting too long, so I left it out. Thoughts on the Bojack Horseman finale, says Kristen. As I mentioned at the start, you might have missed it, but I did really like it, but at the same time, my favorite episode, unlike a lot of other people, was actually seeing Bojack going through becoming a teacher. I thought that was really cool when he became a teacher, and I was just really enjoying the start of the season 6, seeing Bojack actually recover, become happy, not happy, but peace, actually able to enjoy life. And it really hurt me internally to see it all fall apart on him. Hurt me internally. I shouldn't use that word so lightly, but it was really genuinely sad to see it all fall apart for him. And in a way which I felt like it didn't have to. I feel like Bojack could have lived the rest of his life being a good person and still not lost everything. He starts to get it back at the end, but it's still a somewhat sad ending. I also was really glad. I liked Diane a lot this season. I thought she was a much nicer character. I loved seeing her challenges and her trying to overcome her challenges. I love the book she decides to write and that she's writing something she enjoys. I could really connect to that. I have so much to say about Bojack, sorry. But I don't think many people in the stream of the 35 of us are actually watching Bojack, so I'll leave it at that. Very dark second last episode, the darkest adult cartoon episode I've ever seen, actually, that one. Whoa, that was rough. Any videos you want to remake? It says Mike. Oh, so many, Mike. I would like to, I feel like I could have presented worst Futurama better. I've actually taken down worst South Park because there's comments in that I simply don't abide by, that I said back then, that I don't agree with and I don't like. And it's a funny thing because I was very non-inclusive of certain people, and I'm not happy with myself for that. So that's why if you watch me on Social Blade, there's a sudden drop of like 1 million views. That'd be why. I personally think Sonic X did the Sonic Adventure stories better than the games, mostly the Japanese version. I didn't think the Sonic Adventure one was, but I was less connected to the characters. Who would be your favorite member of the Applejack family from MLP, other than Applejack? I'm sorry, Cyan. I know Applejack, but I don't know much of her family. Not quite that experienced with it. Do you remember? I liked, Teddy Street says, I liked the Bojack finale. I thought the second last episode was the best of them, how dark it was. I don't like it specifically because it's dark, though it is incredibly dark. But I think it's very, very, very insightful about the characters, even small things. If you look at the table, for example, you can see that the meals they have actually show how every person in that episode died, which is really interesting. Except for Sarah Lynn, who has like carbs in her plate, but that's because, carbs really affected her in a time when she was acting. Anyway, ever seen The Crash Zone? Sorry, Kathleen, I'm not familiar with that one. What do you think of the Lego Star Wars visually blowing up along with TikTok, virally blowing up along with TikTok? Lego Star Wars has always been quite a strong gaming series anyway, and movie series as well. It's always had quite a young fan base, and that fan base has got older, so I could definitely see it virally blowing up a bit. Spirit of Making Friends actually worked on South Park and Bojack Horseman's. Oh, that's pretty cool, Ali. I had that's best solution for homework. I find that the best solution for homework is to do it on the day so you receive it so it doesn't stress you out. TLG, I'm the exact same. Back when I was doing university assignments, I was the same way. I would do all my studying early. I would just start to get it done because I can't stand thinking about it. So I did all my assignments pretty much the day I got them. I would start working on them. and researching them and just start ruminating on them so I could research them better. It's actually pronounced Sloan. Oh, sorry about that, Sloan. Ever been on an airplane? This is Cadpig. Yeah, whenever I go to Melbourne or to visit Robin in Sydney, I go on an airplane. When I visit my family in Canada, I'll go on an airplane there. I don't like too long airplane trips though, because what I'll often do on like a really long, like 20-hour trip to Canada, is I'll actually stand in front of the toilets. I'll just stand there, because as you can see, I like walking about. I don't like sitting down. So I'll actually stand at the toilets for like 12 hours and occasionally sit down. And like people will just go by me, and stewardesses and that sort of thing, like, hello, I'm just here, standing at the toilets, not bothering anyone. Oh my god, I love Owl House, says Zachary. We're only 4 episodes in, but it's such a good show. I love King, and especially the feel of Gravity Falls it has. It's sounding really good. It really does sound like Disney Plus. I mean, sort of that Disney XD market, so I should give it a look too. I haven't seen the Owl House yet, sorry, Bubble Tea. What's your opinion on all 3 final evolution stages of the Gen 7 starters? I never got them, because if we're talking about the latest games, I got to the 2nd evolution. I think I raised the water? No, I raised the monkey. Let's see. My favorite MLP characters is Derpy Hooves. Okay. It's subjective, but to be honest, I'd like to hear your opinion on them. Even the most people will disagree or enjoy it. What's the risk to take? Zachary, I'm sorry, I don't quite know the context of what you're saying there, as to what's subjective or what's controversial. Oh, hey Floyd. Hey Strider, enjoying your walk? Yeah, I should probably finish up pretty soon, though. I'm starting to not lose my breath, but I'm sort of cognitively starting to fail a bit in keeping up with the chat more than I usually do, so probably finish off soon. King Day is the one coming at you. I can see you're a bit of a Kirby fan there. Crash Zone is an Australian kids show from 1999 to 2001, and it's about teenagers working for a video game company. That sounds pretty cool, actually, Kathleen. Subjective, to be honest. I just like how to know your opinion on them, even though most people... See, I don't know the context you're talking about with that, Zachary, so I can't really say for sure. Floyd says, I remember you saying Shenmue taught you to have a conversation. Yes, it did, Floyd. I will still go up to people and say, excuse me, and then you continue on with the subject of the matter once you wait for them to respond, and then you continue and say, I see, yes, and actually I learned a lot of conversational skills from Shenmue, and since Ryo's delivery is very wooden, it is actually quite like Ryo is Asperger's. I actually found that helpful because I could imitate it better. So yeah, it was like a way for me to learn conversation. I've never had problems talking to people on the street and asking them directions because I just follow what Ryo did. Anyway, I should probably finish off. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you taking the time to walk with me and listen to me blabber on. It's been an absolute pleasure. If you're in America, I hope you can get some rest, and if not, just lie down for a bit and relax, and hope you have a nice day. I'll catch you later. There we go. Oh, hey guys, sorry, just about to finish.